Welcome back. As we know, pitching in the den is never easy, but the Dragons will always warm to a passionate partner with strong margins and no direct competition. Our final entrepreneur into the den tonight believes he has a story to tell the world, but will his time in the den have a happy ending?
So we're going to go into the Dragon's Den, and there's going to be 5 dragons in front of us. You don't have to be scared, they're not real dragons. I came up for the idea for Tellmystorybook.ie when I was reading a story to my niece, Tony Pia, and as I was reading the story, the idea just popped into my head. I said, wouldn't it be a really cool idea if I superimposed a photograph of Tony onto the main character of the book? So I took that idea and I turned it into a business, and that's why I'm here today.
I'm a princess, Tony Pia.
We've already sold in 12 countries worldwide, and our ambition is to sell in 196 countries worldwide. That's every country. It's time to go, so we make sure that your crown is looking nice and pretty. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. Hello, Dragons. My name is Eoin Heverin, and I'm here today looking for €40,000 for 20% equity of my business, Tellmystorybook.ie. Tellmystorybook.ie creates unique, personalised children's books. We're the only company in the whole of Ireland who produce personalised children's books with a difference. That difference is that we superimpose the photograph of the child onto the main characters of our books. This makes the child the star of their very own story. We sold 255 books with a turnover of €6,000. One of our competitors from the UK, who specialise in personalised children's books and only personalised children's books, turned 8.22 million in 2014. Now, I'd like to introduce you to the inspiration for Tellmystorybook.ie, and that's my beautiful niece, Tony Pia. Thanks, Dragons, and now Tony is going to read a passage.
Tony Pia danced and pranced and sang all night.
Very good.
Well done.
Excellent. Now, Dragons, we have a book that we're going to hand out to each. Tony's going to give me a hand, and then afterwards I'll invite all your questions.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tony.
I've never met a princess before. Lovely to meet you, Tony.
Will becoming the star of their own book convince the Dragons to invest €40,000 in return for 20% of Tellmystorybook.ie?
I think I look quite fetching there in my labba.
So, Owen, I didn't even notice you guys taking this picture of me in the gym. That was before I started really bulking up, though, so thanks for that.
Offer.
Great idea, very novel, and I think what brings it home is when you see yourself in the pictures, you can imagine what it is like for a child to see themselves in the picture and be the star of their own book. Tell me, you did talk about a competitor in the UK. Are they also in the Irish market?
Yeah, they're global. They sell in 167 countries worldwide.
So what makes you different than them? How are you going to compete against them? They sound like a big threat with lots of funding behind them.
No, I don't see them as a threat. Their books revolve around the child's name, where ours goes to the next level. We bring the personalisation up. We actually have the photograph of the child as well, so I actually think we've more potential.
Could you tell me just what's the process? Is it you upload your photograph onto a website and it goes from there? Or?
I try to make it as easy as possible for them to use. So they log on and they first of all put the child's name in, and then we actually have a preview. And then at the checkout stage, they upload the photograph.
And what price is the book selling for?
We have a base price, they're $18.95, but there's a compulsory $3.95 for P&P. And then we have add-on options. We can add on a personalised dedication for the first page for $1.95. We can add on priority order, that's for $3.95, and we can add on a gift wrap for €3.50. So the max spend is €32.30.
I'm not a child myself, but I enjoyed seeing my pictures in the book, so I could understand the appeal. What's your background?
Both my parents are professional photographers, so from a young age I was trained up as a photographer, and in 2014 I set up Heverin Print, as well as at the same time as developing Tellmystorybook.ie.
I see in the book there's also .com. You own obviously both domains.
Yeah, I have lots of domains, Gavin.
Yeah.
I have .ie, .co.uk, .com, and a range of other ones as well.
Do you see most of your sales through your website?
Definitely for year one, we're pushing this totally online. We have the margins. I didn't mention that we actually manufacture all the books ourselves. We can manufacture 63 books a day between 3 people.
As far as I know, the previous publications I would have bought would all have been manufactured in China. What's your margin, and how can you achieve a decent margin out of a capacity of 63 books a day?
We've a gross margin of 87.7%. Then we sell it for a minimum of €22.90 online. But our average price is €25 with our add-ons. So we've our gross margin, which includes the P&P, is 87.7%.
In terms of your margin of 87.7% is astounding.
Yeah, thank you.
If you go into volume,
Yes.
does your cost of production of a book increase?
In year one, we'll be looking, well, I'll go to year two, our net will be 49%. Then in year three, we raise the amount that we're paying our employees and we're shipping more overseas. So our costs go up and our net comes down to, we should have an average of about 41% net. I've also other revenue streams. I'll be teaming up with existing marketplaces, online marketplaces. One of these that I've identified, they took a personalised children's book that was selling 40 units a year and they turned them into selling 60,000 a year. So I'll be paying them a commission. With the commission, I'll be still left with 19.8% net profit.
But at that point, you couldn't produce the book yourself.
Yeah,
You
I
can.
everything. I have the premises, have it lined up, paperwork's been looked at.
Talk to me about your US competitors.
One of the biggest ones, this is a huge company. It's called Shutterfly. I'm not too sure if you heard. They're massive. They turned 912 million in 2014. Their sales are growing annually by 17% for the last 3 years.
Owen, is there anybody in the business, though, who knows anything about driving traffic to a website?
100%. That's something that was
Well,
essential.
we're here now a while and I haven't heard anything about that, because what we have is a book that's pretty expensive, right? Yeah. But, you know, there are parents who will like the idea of the photograph, etc., and that accounts for your generous margins, but competitors could underprice you. So it's really how many customers you can find.
Yeah.
You've found 200 so far, is that right?
255.
255. So we're clearly not good at that. How are you going to improve it?
I've got a guy lined up he's the online marketing expert for one of Ireland's leading fast food operations. So he's going to concentrate on driving traffic directly to the website. Now this guy, he's sought after. A lot of people after him. He only takes on one person at a time.
What's he going to cost you this year?
That's the great thing about it. He liked the business so much that he's cutting his rates for the first 3 months, he's cutting his rates. Like he charges a lot of money. I can't divulge that much.
I think you do if we're going to invest. Like, this is a business deal. It's not the KGB, you know what I mean? So you haven't given us his name even. How much is he going to cost you in 2017?
I'd imagine about €50 an hour.
And how many hours will you be using him?
We'll set him targets. He's to hit these targets. We'll dedicate the amount of time to hit these targets.
Owen, I'm a bit worried about your margin. I got all excited at 87.7. We then dropped to 41% net. Now we're factoring in a guy at €50 an hour, and we're not sure how many hours he's going to be doing. When you factor in all those costs, what's really happening on the margin here?
Okay, so we'll always have a gross margin of 87.7%, but then our costs do come into it, and the lowest net that we'd be left with is 19.8%, say 20% net.
Which means the volumes I was looking at in terms of a return on investment before money have now dramatically increased.
Yeah, so we'll be needing to sell in year 3, 45,000 units, which I know we can definitely achieve.
Talk to me about your price point, Owen. How does it compare to the price point of the competitor in the UK that doesn't do the pictures, or Shutterfly in the US that does?
Right, you brought that up actually, because we're the cheapest out of all of them. So the UK one, you're talking €27, and they're not a hardback. We're a hardback. In the US, you're talking $39, which is roughly about €36. So we're a lot cheaper than them. So we've huge potential to grow because we have the margins.
You've lots of potential.
Not just potential, I'll deliver it. 100%.
So, Owen, you've hired an expensive guy with a ponytail to do the website marketing for you, but, like, what marketing ideas do you have?
Yeah.
So give me your 5 big things that are going to drive people to this website. Give me 7 then. The magnificent 7 from Eoin Heverin. Here we go. 1.
So I've covered the first 2, which was taking on a guy and using third parties. The third one, this the one you're looking for, Gavin, I like to call it outside of the box thinking, guerrilla marketing. One is we're going to team up with national radio stations, offer our books as prizes for competitions. I've already done this, got great success with 2FM, the Nicky Byrne show. Area 2, Late Late Toy Show. Area number 3 is celebrities. I've identified we've the top 50 celebrities in the world who have kids in this sort of area.
It just sounds a little bit creepy. You're not going to send pictures of their kids, right? It's pictures of them.
He calls it creepy, I call it marketing. Keep going.
I think it's good, actually.
Yeah, keep going.
Fourth thing is bloggers. 5 would be gift guides. Number 6, we're looking at trade shows. Then 7, the final one is we'll do a database of email address, our own database. We'll build that database up, directly target our customers through that.
I think it's a great product, but I'm really concerned that to get the story out, you're going to have to spend a lot of money. I think it's a really tough job for you to find a position in the market. Unfortunately, I'm out.
Okay, thanks, Alison. Thanks for listening.
Oh, and one of the ways businesses can succeed from a start is to create a temporary monopoly that they get a head start on everybody else. And it looks like you do have a temporary monopoly, but I just think it's too small. I don't think it's a defendable enough space. You're going to come under pressure from your competition very quickly. So for that reason, I'm out.
No bother. Thanks, Amos.
Even though he has performed confidently, Eoin has quickly lost 2 dragons. Will his story get the ending he's hoping for?
Eoin, let me tell you where I'm at. There's too many moving parts and there's too little proved.
Understood.
So for that reason, I'm out.
Thanks, Miller.
Eoin, the magic secret sauce of how do you get parents throughout Ireland and the UK and in other territories to go online and buy from you. And that part is all on a hope and a wish that the guy with the ponytail comes along with a wand and makes it all happen. That's...
Can I just say again?
No. It's,
sorry.
You've said a few times. I'm sorry. You know, it's just a shot in the dark here, which I can't take. I'm out.
Okay, thank you, Amos. I don't agree that it is a shot in the dark. I have the guys lined up. It's the UK company that have a proven record in doing this.
What does lined up mean?
Well, basically, I've identified who they are. I just...
Okay, so you know their names, or you know the name of the company?
Yeah.
Well, let's say your 2017 sales, you've got these guys lined up.
Yeah.
What percentage of your business in 2017 is going to be generated by the guys who are lined up?
About 60% of the business, and I'm hoping that in that meantime, the years 1, 2, and 3, that we're going to be getting repeat customers directly to our site at the same time.
60% of your business plan is dependent on a bunch of people that you've found using Google, basically.
That's just one. There's countless of these marketplaces. I just isolated one because I didn't want to be, but there is other marketplaces that do the similar things. That's the biggest one in the UK.
I'm going to make you an offer, but I have to de-risk it a bit for myself. You're asking me to project forward from a proof point of 255 books to the big dream, which I'm prepared to buy into. I could de-risk it by asking you for, half your business instead of 25%. What I'd like to do instead, though, to de-risk it for me is to make you the following offer. So I'll offer you the full amount, 40,000 for 20% of the business. But I'm also going to need a royalty of €1 per book sold until I get the 40,000 back.
I was waiting to negotiate, but that's a fantastic offer. I'd definitely take you on that.
Great.
I thought you were going to go in higher, and I was waiting to. We're going to do whatever it is. Thanks for working.
Thanks for working with you.
Very much.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Well done.
Thank you, Eoin.
Well done, Barry. You can advise the guy in the ponytail.
I can help him with all of the online piece of it, and that's really the story here.
Bad news, Barry, is you've lost 4 sales. Because we all have one now.
No, you just have to pay me my royalty check.
Eoin, well done. You're a tenacious guy. You were so determined, it was as if you weren't going to leave there without getting an investment.
You're dead right, Richard. At times, they made me sweat, but I kept at it, and I was delighted to get over the line in the end.
He offered the full 40,000 for the shareholding that you were looking for, but he threw in this royalty payment as well to de-risk it, as he said. How do you feel about that?
I was ready to negotiate with him. If he started heavier, I was going to negotiate, but I'm delighted with the offer he put on board, and I was delighted to take it.
Well done.
Thanks very much, Richard. Really appreciate it.